Alright, so we're finally here. Brockhampton has just released their so proclaimed last album titled The Family. This is a very confusing thing because they posted on Instagram that The Family was going to be their final studio album. However, Matt Champion posted on his Instagram there's going to be another album containing 11 tracks, and that's apparently going to feature all the members. It's a very confusing process to really wrap this thing up. I'm not complaining because back-to-back albums, which is a great thing, especially Brockhampton. Knowing what they did with the Saturation trilogy, which is just a back-to-back trilogy in 1 year, was crazy and it was amazing. So hopefully this sort of raw they're doing with this final record is the same thing. I'm very hyped for this thing. However, the singles, hopefully, I don't know if the singles are deceiving me or not. I don't know if this is entirely Kevin. I saw a tweet saying it was 97% Kevin, and I don't know if that's just like a joke or something, or if it's actually true. Like it's some Drake and Her Loss type stuff where he barely let 21 Savage rap. But if it's something like that, I don't know. I don't know how to react because I did like Big Pussy. I did like the song. I reacted to it here on the channel. I think it was a great song and stuff. But the ending, which is the second lead single for this, just had me asking the question of where's everybody? Because it's only Kevin rapping over his instrumentals. And don't get me wrong, these raps aren't bad. They're pretty cool. They're pretty good. But I want some Matt Champion in this. I want some Joe. But I want everybody in this. I want some Dom in here. Like Dom could have easily been the additional verse for the ending. You know what I'm trying to say? Anyway, I've heard that this thing is mostly Kevin Abstract, and that the other record they're going to drop, TM or something, is really the record containing everybody. It could be something like that. So anyway, I'm super excited. This thing is really short. It's like 35 minutes long, 17 tracks. And we're going to start with Take It Back.
Get my niggas off that couch. The group broke up and made me feel hot. With all them niggas, y'all. I love them niggas, y'all. United we stand, divided we fall.
Alright, that was Take It Back. Honestly, that was an okay beginning, really. I mean, I like the bars where he's saying, oh, it's another chapter. Even divided, we're still not really apart. We're still really like one. We're still together, even if we're still not collaborating on the same track together. We still have the same willpower, which I think was a cool bar, testament. But I don't know. I'm getting the feeling it's gonna be really a Kevin-esque album. And while, don't get me wrong, I don't mind records like this, but I was just like thinking, why not just make it a solo album for Kevin? Because Kevin has been teasing for a solo album for like ever since last year, but it got delayed and pushed back, and we never have any other update with it. So why not just do something like that? I'm enjoying the beats in here, especially for the singles. The beats are cool, especially with this one. It gives me more of a Dilla, old school hip hop impression, which is an interesting direction that Brockhampton is taking towards. And it's more than welcome, especially. But I wonder if they're gonna divide it like the Wu-Tang. And it's funny because I'm looking at track 2 and it says RZA, but I was listening to Wu-Tang 36 Chambers album a few weeks ago. I was re-listening to it because I listened to it a few years ago. But what made the record so special and such a classic record, especially, is how each song is divided with the group members. Obviously, there's like 8 of them or 9 of them, I'm entirely sure. So it's really hard to fit them all in one track, except the Enter 36 Chambers or the 8th Chamber track, which it was literally all of them in a cypher type track. But what I liked about the album is that each track, at least the majority of the track, were like separated. Like for instance, there's the track with Method Man, which is literally Method Man's anthem, and it's just him rapping over a track. Or Cream, which is just Raekwon and Inspect the Deck rapping in one song. Like if it was divided like this in this album, then that would have been cool. But like what I've been getting from initial reactions, it's mostly it's literally just Kevin by himself. So I don't know. Let's see. Track 2, RZA. If it's just a RZA feature, that would be dope.
Where you come from, I gotta be the American flag. Texas where I'm from, kept the drums in my bag. Whenever I love it.
Alright, so that was RZA. I think the track was better than the first track, Take It Back. Definitely think I like the pacing with it. It's, I guess, much more cohesive. There's much more movement. There are segments of it that reminded me of Jay-Z. I don't know why the balance of the track and the whoa just reminded me a lot of early 2000s Jay-Z like Black Album or the Blueprint type of vibe for some reason. Yeah, but anyway, I thought the track was good. It's decent. I don't think it addresses that much about the disbandment of the group, because there's this like the hook and stuff like that where it's like, Mama, why you saying, Mama said, why don't you keep the band together and stuff like that. If I'm not mistaken, it's definitely mostly because of independence, and because I think this RCA deal is a bit tacky, apparently. I don't know, from what I've heard, I don't want to make speculation, but from what I understand, they want to get out of the RCA record deal, get out of that contract with it, which I think they signed with ever since they dropped Iridescence until now. They were signed with RCA. I think they want to just get rid of the RCA deal, and it might just be, as they said, the final album. But yeah, just I guess another solid bop, I guess. I don't really know how to properly react to this, especially knowing there's going to be a second record tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, that I guess features all the members. But anyway, third track, Gold Teeth. If I'm not mistaken, that was the same title of a song from Cheat Codes with Black Thought and Danger Mouse. Great record, by the way. Check it out. With the kick pattern. Nowadays, all I want to do is... That was interesting. Those songs are interesting. Okay, that thing is definitely more cohesive than what RZA was trying to, I guess, convey. I guess talking about the allegations of them splitting up and why they're splitting up. So I was sort of right, and they want to get rid of this deal, this RCA deal, and that there's barely communication with the group, and part of the reason as to why they want to disband because of a lack of communication throughout. And I guess I understand, because after making 7 or 8 albums with the same group for almost 5, 6, 7 years at this point, it does get kind of monotonous and repetitive and stressful, especially for Kevin, who wants to, I guess, see a surge of independence and wants to really make his solo work and solo records. And I see that Matt, Merlin, and these other artists involved with here wants to do their own solo stuff, and I completely respect it and admire that. So yeah, this thing is definitely more cohesive in the reasoning. We're going R&B with this one. This one's pretty cool. Alright, that was all that. Definitely I think that was the most like full track, if that even makes sense, out of the tracks that I've listened to so far. I think it's a great track, honestly. I love the hook. I love the R&B vibes that we're getting in here. It's very soulful. Departure from the first 4 tracks from this record, and the ending, which is the other track, the other single. But yeah, it seems like it's going to be a bit more laid back, I guess, for the majority perhaps. But this thing sounds nothing like Big Pussy. It sounds nothing remotely like the first single from this record at all. It's like literally I cannot even tell. But yeah, as I said, all the tracks, it was fuller. I think the main concept of this record that I'm getting so far with all these tracks is about the separation, or the reasoning behind the separation of this record. Kevin detailing his agreement to Dom, or the reasons behind him, behind, I guess, the lack of communication, being a bit more cohesive behind it. Him saying that he needs to go to therapy instead of, I guess, lashing out the anger at his bandmates, and saying that the record deal didn't really help that much despite how much popularity surged. I think those are huge statements and bold statements that Kevin is making on these tracks, and it's very interesting to see. But it's almost ironic, because you would expect, like, as a finale, it would be like a whole, like, hoorah thing, but maybe they're saving that thing for TM, which is the second surprise album thing, because it's almost like a Hitler Where's Hermes of West Side Gun, where it's like a side A and side B. This might be a side A, side B type thing, honestly. If it is, that's cool. But anyway, returning to this record, let's go to track 6, Back from the Road.
So it was smoked out, don't let John find out. I'm waking up alone, HK snore still going. When they sing these songs, you turn
Okay, so I was Back from the Road. Again, it's a very short track, just like a lot of these tracks in here, but I guess the only comment I can add is that there's a solid foundation. Again, the same question I'm asking myself is why not expand in that foundation and makes a much bigger song or statement with it. I have no idea. I thought the pitch down vocals from Joba and I believe Bareface were kind of cool. Then again, why not just make an entire full-length song with it? But anyway, going to track 7, Basement. Right, I'm gonna let it run to Southside. Again, Basement, just a really short song. Getting some very experimental hip-hop vibes in here. A bit of a departure from the old school hip-hop type of thing, which is okay, completely fine. I'm up for it. But anyway, track 8, Southside.
You know I do that, yeah. Music so love is stupid, yeah. Check out the crib with computers, yeah. All out, you keep acting funny. Know me, yeah. Look at me, point instead, going to a new year with the vision hella good.
Alright, so like, from the sentiment that I'm getting from this record is that Kevin is on his own. Like the group is like gone. I'm assuming that's like I'm getting some like post-apocalyptic vibes of like the group is gone and it's just Kevin like going on with the ride and just like giving the last hurrah to just like finish this record. I remember seeing some theory like that in Reddit, and I think that guy might be actually like not that far off. I think he might actually been on point with this, that it's like it's Kevin's record and it's like if Kevin was abandoned or Kevin is alone and Kevin is doing everything by himself in this point since everybody's departed. I don't know how this is going to play out in terms of the rollout of this record or the structure. I'm not entirely sure because, as I said, TM is dropping tonight, so maybe I don't know if that's like the final album or that's like the album that comes before this, because I'm getting some like finale vibes of like this is the end and it's almost like a depressing ending in my opinion, despite some songs in there have some pretty great beats and stuff, or like Pump Bop's foundations. It's not getting explored enough. It's not getting deep enough in this sense. Hopefully in the TM it's a bit funner. It's a bit like Roadrunner, which Roadrunner had a perfect balance of serious moments and some bops. Straying away from the melodramatic I guess era or phase from Iridescence or Ginger. Right here I don't know, it's kind of like a mix of Iridescence and Ginger right here. It's just kind of a weird blend, but at the same time, I guess I'll just keep on listening to see.
No more playlists, no more due dates, no more fake shit. I miss running around the city with you know I cannot lie. You know what I mean? Press me though, asking me which set we from, but I get it, we young, we dumb. Film video till the sun get done. Bitch, them was the good time. Bitch, them was the good time.
Alright, so that was track 9, Good Time. So far it seems to be the strongest. Well, I would say like the strongest next to Big. Definitely for sure. I don't know why, but that thing just sounded even more cohesive than the tracks I was saying. It sounded more cohesive. I like the lines of like I was selling myself to art or art for $1. Like lines like those is really wow. It just really strikes something on it. Him admitting that he was sort of in a narcissistic phase of recording everything, basically putting his entire friendship with the members of Brockhampton and lying, I guess materializing the friendship and commercializing it, exploiting it, and just I guess not seeing them as human beings, and I guess admitting that he screwed up in that sense. And part of the reason as to why he feels the need to separate or to end the Brockhampton group already and finish it off, which I think is something like pretty deep and dark to really just say out loud and express, but it's just very necessary to say it out loud, and I just was not aware of it. So yeah, this thing is definitely like 10 times more serious than I expected it to be, and I'm all up for it, honestly. I think it's a great way to sort of end off this thing. It's a bit more serious. As I said, there's still room for more fun bops with the next record that's coming out, and then I'm assuming that will be like the wrap up for this entire saga of Brockhampton, which will be really sad, but I'm looking forward to it. So anyway, let's go to 37.
Mix that bitch with some shame and some weed and champagne. You end up like me, trying to make everybody happy when I'm only there for me.
I like that this track is addressing more the things with Mir, especially since the departure. It seems they're like in good ties, good connections. I'm assuming that Amir has come to made amends, is in great terms with the group. If that's the case, this is very like iffy, very if. Perhaps there might be a track in here where we might hear an Amir verse. That's like that's the last thing I would expect, because especially with what Amir did. But it seems they made a bend, so who knows? It's either in this record we're gonna hear an Amir verse, hitting something like that, or in the next record. I just hope we get something from Amir. I understand the thing that surrounds him. Everything that he did was definitely not excusable. It is like vulgar stuff. But if you understand who Amir is and his impact on this group, you have to understand that if you're gonna wrap this up, you need to wrap up with literally the iconic person who made this thing. This guy is on the cover of all the 3 Saturation albums, and he has one of the most iconic verses of the entire group. I mean, at least something, like a voice message, something to wrap this thing up together. But yeah, next track, Boyband.
Sound so geekish in the room where we speaking, keep the speakers bleeding. Yo, summertime needs this. I said summertime needs this. Yeah, summertime needs this. So I can reach new heights.
Interesting track. I really did like the drums in that one. It's much more punchier, much more aggressive. Though I wish, once again, it was more expanded upon. I think what I liked about the lead single with Big Pussy, what I liked about that track is that despite how short the track is, there are like so many things going on around the track, from the jazz segment from the beginning to the aggressive Beastie Boys type hardcore hip hop that's in the middle, to then the very laid back hip hop old school sort of thing again at the end. It was all over the place. It was enigmatic, it was crazy, it was eccentric. And while there are some tracks in here that are sort of like that, they aren't expanded upon. And that's kind of like leaving a lot of things dry, or just like lackluster a bit. But yeah, anyway, we're going with track 12, Any Way You Want Me. It's a bit more soft, it's a bit more rock type, yeah, indie rock, slow, it's a bit slower. Yeah, it gives me that vibe. It's resonating more with that area, that sound, that aura. It reminds me of Summer, it was with Bareface. I don't know why it's reminding me of that, but you know what I'm trying to say. It gives you this like indie rock type of boy bandish type of sound. But yeah, that was, again, there's like, it's really demo-like. It's like there's a solid idea, but nothing, just not really a direction that takes this track to a whole new level, or that really drives it to the point that it's like, wow, this is a great song. It's just really like a blueprint, I guess, but it's not expanded upon. Alright, next track, The Family. Anything that's like really self-titled is especially the best song of the record, or one of the highlights of the record, so let's hope for the best.
Y'all know it's like y'all got families, but it's so different from my family from Texas. I know what it's like, but it's so different. Merlin saw the swim Postmates ain't delivered to our house in Laurel Canyon, in a mansion for some niggas I can't stand, man. But I gotta hold it down for my new fam, man. Goes horse, and we all stopped crying. We said we do this shit for life. Now I'm the last one trying.
Once again, it's talking more about the themes of the record, the concept of the record, of the struggles behind, I guess, keeping the group together, and I guess the reason as to why it's going to stop. I don't know why, but as I said, I was alluding to Kanye, saying that he's more aggressive, passive aggressiveness. A lot of these tracks are coming off as a bit narcissist. It's probably done on purpose, for, I guess, showing that Kevin is trying to stick everything together, trying to hold and lead the group even when nobody's present, being truly being the leader. I'm assuming that everybody was on board for Kevin to say this, especially since this is a Brockhampton record, meaning that everybody is involved in here, and also seeing the shout outs from this record from everybody in the group. So I'm assuming that they're all cool with this, but it's becoming very transparent. I like the level of transparency that Kevin is giving us throughout this record. But yeah, as I said, I think every track in here is becoming a bit more transparent with the reasoning of Kevin and stuff. But a part of me sort of wants it to like switch it up a bit and just stop focusing, I guess, on the issues and everything. It's very important to address these issues, don't get me wrong, but I think it's lacking the fun or the oomph that Brockhampton is known for, its signature style. Here, it sounds very retired. I don't know if that's the correct way of describing it. It sounds very retired and very laid back. It's not a bad thing, but it's like it's missing something.
Please don't make me grow up. God, please don't make me grow up. God, please don't make me grow up. Twitter, please don't make me show up. Reddit, please, you gon' make me throw up. All them niggas finna make me throw up. Fuck them fans, them niggas make me throw up. Fuck them shows, nigga, club.
I'm getting some huge Dear Lord vibes from Roadrunner. Yeah, that track was okay. I really liked the little choir segment from the last 30 seconds of the track. I thought it added some power. I thought it had some power and some weight at the end. Once again, I wish this was like more full length and just fully developed. It's a shame that it was left off like that. But anyway, going on to the next track, My American Life.
In this world, how much more can I take? Sometimes I think about dying, but then I think of those days. Sometimes I wish we could speak, but I have nothing to say.
There's been some major Frank Ocean vibes at the beginning, especially with the pitch of the vocals, very low key, the guitar balladry that was there, but then evolving a bit more to some like country type track. That was an interesting transition. I thought it was decent. It was okay. It was alright. Kind of like ironic in a sense. I don't know why. I just gave it a sense of irony. But anyway, we're closing this record up with Brockhampton, the self-titled track. It is 4 minutes 32 seconds. I am expecting everybody to have a verse in here, at least just like 3 or 5 members, at least 3 members in here to have a full-length verse or something in here, because I think I've only heard just Kevin, Joba, and Bareface. That's literally it for this entire record. So I hope this like final track is like at least with a Matt verse or like a Dom verse or something. It's like we need everybody for like to close up this entire record. Anyway, let's get to the final song.
Stronger in the studio longer, but deep down I was still a coward. Buzz cut, re-recording it for hours, till I had that verse feeling rowdy. Took out the line about niggas trying to cancel me. Feel true, and baby boy, you know these issues ain't new. What would you do if you had that house with a pool? Different stages, man. Brought the whole family with us when we hit Japan. We gaining friends just to get used to losing them. Feel like I lost a limb. Niggas mad at me and me started talking again. I guess that's why I ain't seeing niggas from the group like I wish one.
Alright, so that was the final track. It seems I was completely wrong. There is like no other member's verse except Kevin's. Once again, just why would you do that? Why would you do that? So it's like, you would call it the self-titled song and stuff like that. Like, why would you do that? I don't know why, but I'm getting the impression this is the Troll album, and it's like a pump fake for the real thing that's probably going to be tomorrow, the 11 tracks that's apparently going to be including everybody. If it's not going to be including everybody, it's just Kevin again. This is like the biggest troll of the century. Like, I'm getting the feeling this album, this like rollout thing's a troll, and it's not really the final segment or final installment of this chapter in the saga. Because if it is, it's very disappointing, not gonna lie. But yeah, anyway, going back, it's just more talking about the issues, the strife, everything between the band members, the group, everything like that. I think it's getting a bit tiring at this point. But anyway, the album was over. The family, we listened to all the tracks. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of expected more. Even if this is like supposed to be an album that's leading up to the real ending, it's like, this is what I'm getting. Like the vibes I'm getting is like, this is like the fake ending, and the next album's a true ending. Like it's a video game. Like it's like you get the ending, the basic ending everybody can get, but then the true ending is like you gotta go a step deeper, and it's like you get everything unlocked. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like some Persona type stuff. You gotta do some extra requirements to get the true real ending. You get the true real ending in there. But yeah, honestly, this record isn't necessarily bad. I know that I might seem like it's really negative or something, but nah, this, I think for the most part is okay. It's fine. I expected much more, especially even if it was a pump fake record. I don't understand why it did have to be the same thing over and over and over, especially with the lead single being so explosive and everything. I felt that there could have been so many tracks that it could have been like that. Like it could have been something similar like that. I think it's dry in a lot of areas. It's kind of thin and some stuff like that. The production over here is pretty cool. I really like the uniqueness with it and the playing with the samples, old school hip hop type stuff. I liked it, but there were so many tracks in here that felt like it was demo. It was left on demo, and I was like, let's release it for the hell of it, because why not? Again, it comes at a cost, and there's some tracks in here that are just filler, and that could easily have been removed and nothing really happens or affects this record. And even at 35 minutes long, there were some tracks that just felt redundant at times. But yeah, anyway, this record, it's fine. It's okay. I'm just counting this as like the pre step before the real ending, if you know what I'm trying to say. So I'm not evaluating this as just a true ending. I'm evaluating this as just like before the ending, or like just another Brockhampton album. But yeah, it's okay. I guess it's really okay. This is my first initial reactions. It could drastically change. If it does, that's kind of surprising, not gonna lie. But so far, I think this is an okay record at best. But yeah, there's some cool stuff in here. It's like, I think their most serious record ever since Iridescence and Ginger, most definitely. But yeah, it's an okay track. I guess I enjoyed how they were addressing these issues, but then again, the absence of almost everybody in the group, just, I don't know. It's kind of like the downfall of this record. It's like the missing piece. Like, you're missing everybody else in this record. It's like a Kevin album at this point. I'm waiting for TM tomorrow, so by the time this record is like uploaded, it might be the same time where TM is released or something. I might record a reaction for TM. That's the real ending. So yeah, anyway, what you guys think about this record? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what you guys would rate it. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, especially this reaction. Subscribe, turn notification bell on so you miss an upload from me, especially as I'm going to be uploading the reaction video for TM most likely tomorrow. And yeah, stay tuned and stream the family. Peace out, everybody.